Battlefield 6 is dropping its Season 2 update next week. It's only a short time away. This is pretty highly anticipated. All of the moaners and the groaners out there are going to hate this no matter what when it comes out. But for the people like me and hopefully you who actually play the game and enjoy it, this should be really exciting. We have a bunch of new stuff, new maps, new gadgets, new weapons, all of that, which we are going to talk about. First, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment down below, become a YouTube member if you want to. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's the official blog. There were some leaks on this. I didn't really want to cover them because those can be so unreliable, and honestly, they're pushed by people who, like, I'm sure some of the content creators that focus on Battlefield and the fan social media accounts, stuff like that, I'm sure those people do enjoy this game and enjoy the franchise and all that. But man, you would never be able to tell from the content they post and just their general attitude about everything. It's really been surprising to me as someone who, way back in the day used to watch like Jack Frags and stuff like that, back when those guys, Matimio and so on, when they were like focused Battlefield content creators. So with Battlefield 6 being the first time I'd really kind of dove back into, the kind of Battlefield community, even though I've played the previous games, it's been really depressing to see that basically all of the content creators that focus on this game are hyper negative and always looking for the worst way to portray everything and very doomer. Same with the fan account. So getting past that, I had to get my little diatribe out there. Here, let's look at what they are going to be showing us. So, 17th of February is when this update is dropping. They have here the significant updates coming to Season 2. The big things they have here, progression improvements, broader challenge parameters. What this gets into is they're going to try to make challenges less dependent on specific modes and stuff like that. That's great. Literally whenever new challenges pop up, the weekly challenges, I use the re-rolls to get rid of any of them that make you play like King of the Hill and things like that. So this is a good change for me. The only one I don't like is I actually like the pistol challenges. It wants to get rid of those. Those are typically only 5 kills. And I think it's kind of fun to do those. It's not that hard, especially once I've upgraded all of my pistols to at least level 10, so I have red dots and all that. So I don't know. I kind of wish they weren't doing that with the pistols, but if I want, I guess I can just do it on my own. Faster battle pass, that's a big one. A lot of people feel like the battle pass is kind of a slog. I probably average an hour or 2 of Battlefield a day. At this point, I almost always log in at nighttime after the family's in bed to play for an hour or 2 and knock out the daily challenges and then work on the weeklies and so on. So, I mean, I'm not going to complain about this. It's just, for me, it's likely going to mean that I just finished the season earlier, and I don't really know if that's a good or a bad thing. So, I'm kind of indifferent on that. More rewarding progression from RedSec. That's extremely good. I will jump into RedSec here and there because I actually think it's a pretty good battle royale, but I don't think it gives you a lot of reason to play it. The rewards are not worth it at all. And I just, I don't know. This makes me happy. I hope they make it worth playing. And it actually specifies battle royale and gauntlet, which is kind of funny because you don't realize that RedSec is the battle royale and it's the gauntlet mode. And the gauntlet mode is, I would argue, one of the most like undersold modes in the whole game. It's because it's very much more like traditional Battlefield play style, like the objectives and stuff like that. And it doing the round based thing where you need to be one of the top teams every round until the final round. It's kind of, honestly, more of a battle royale that fits the Battlefield kind of play style, right? But they never talk about it, and that's a bummer. I will say, when I've played it for challenges, it does seem to be fairly well populated, so there must be a decent number of people either doing challenges or who actually like it. But I don't know. I wish that they would kind of push Gauntlet more. I kind of doubt they will. And then career reward balance. Yeah, so they had this thing with the career and battle pass boosters were added to some of the earlier career ranks. So it's up to, I think, level 100. You get XP boosts and things like that. Um, I I wish they would do more. I'm like level 129. So in theory, unless there is some kind of change, I will never get another reward for like leveling up ever. And the game has been out for like 3 months, right? So I wouldn't mind if they would, maybe add that. Or I'm not completely against them doing a prestige system or something. My goal, and I'm one of the people who tries to level up every gun to the top level and unlock all the skins and all that. So I don't know if I would ever be able to give all that stuff up, even if it was for like a boost. If they did something where you got to keep the skins or something, maybe I would. But it's good that they're at least talking about that. Weapon balance and recoil. I'm kind of mixed on this. I feel like anytime they tinker with this, they're gonna make as many people happy as they make mad. So yeah, it just kind of is what it is. Same with the player movement. It's the same idea where everyone thought the game was perfect during the beta, the open beta that happened, and it seems like they've been chasing that again ever since. I would make the argument that it wasn't perfect then. Maybe it was tuned a little better, or maybe they've overtuned it since then. I don't know. But it was more than likely people were just excited about the game, and the kind of FOMO of only getting to play it for a short time made people more willing to enjoy it, even if it wasn't perfect. And now that it's out, that factor's gone. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. And then the audio improvements. I don't really know. I'm probably just a layman. Maybe I'm too casual. I'm not sure. It talks about better handling of overlapping sounds and things like that. I guess I've probably picked up on some of that. I don't think the sound is bad though. And like it says, clearer cues of movement. Like you can hear an enemy running from what seems like a mile away. So maybe it's just my setup. Maybe it's just the way I play or the way I hear. I don't know. I don't really see issues here, but that's fine. Getting into ongoing development focus. This here is just kind of them just giving general, a general update on what they're doing overall. And then Battlefield Labs, that they're going to continue doing those tests. I finally got into this, but honestly, I find it kind of hard to really do it just because I'd rather be playing the game at this point. Like in the pre-release, I understood doing this and I didn't get access. But at this point, I will admit that even as someone who plays this game a ton, I would rather just be playing the game than testing it. So that's just kind of where I'm at. This is exciting. The Gulman Railway testing. Apparently, this was in the last round of testing. They're bringing back a new version of that old school map, including having like the train running through the middle and all that stuff, which it doesn't look like was happening before, but is now. That's cool. That's a great map. Like, or at least even the concept of that map. This one is likely going to be this big giant map that everyone's been asking for. That's kind of like a pain point for me, where all of these people are like, "Oh, I want these gigantic maps again," and like the maps now, like you basically are always having action, and there are the breaks in between the capture points and things like that, and people are wanting maps that are like twice as big as the ones that we have. But all that's going to be is twice as much non-action in between the points. And I don't really think it's going to be all that exciting, at least if we stick with 64 player maps. If they return to, the 128 player maps of Battlefield 2042, as much as people seem to despise that game, I actually thought the 128 player maps were great. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it felt really good. And that worked on these really gigantic maps. If you do the same thing with half the players, it's going to feel empty. And that's why I think the current maps and the sizing of them isn't as bad as some of the people freaking out about them says they are. I think they actually work out pretty well, but that's just me. So we'll see how a bigger map like this one plays out. Then they talk about RedSec updates, talking about changing how many armor plates you spawn with and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on RedSec. I think it's fine the way it is. And it's one of those things where maybe they could make changes that would make me focus more on it, but probably not. When I'm playing Battlefield, I want the Battlefield conquest experience. Like that's what I'm looking for. Even though escalation has become one of my newer, I almost prefer that at this point. The red sec, like I said, I'll jump in, I'll have fun, but it's just not. I would almost rather play Gauntlet, and that isn't really getting the same attention. So, and then it has some community highlights here. Now, as I finished up talking about that blog, I realized it didn't actually have the details yet, which we don't have for the actual maps and weapons and gadgets. There's been some leaks where I think we're expected to get 2 or 3 maps. I believe we're expected to get some guns and some gadgets and new vehicles. Like I think the Little Bird is one that was confirmed kind of from trailers. The trailer they dropped today is like kind of a teaser, showed dirt bikes. So that's gonna be something that's gonna be coming back. They've also shown and people have leaked that like Red Sec is going to have a gas mode where you're going to need to have a mask to be able to put on, and I assume you'll need to recharge your mask with new filters or whatever. And if you're not wearing a mask, you'll see hallucinations, which I think is kind of a neat idea. And some people really, really hate it. Now, if that's in like the regular game, then yeah, I don't want that. That's, in the regular conquest. If I'm just grinding levels or challenges or whatever, I don't need to be seeing hallucinations. But if that's just going to be in like just Red Sec mode and it's like a seasonal thing, that's cool, man. I don't mind. And the Red Sec map is going to be a new map, I believe. It looks like from the trailer they showed today, it's going to be based around an air base in Germany, where the current one is based, I believe, on a military base in California. So, yeah, I'm really excited. I can't wait to have something new to play, even though, I've been willing to grind what we have right now almost every single day. And I played many hundreds of hours of Battlefield 2042. So maybe I'm the problem, but I'm not going to apologize for being a fan. So let me know what you think about season 2 down in the comments. I'm curious to hear from you. Let me know if you're excited, if you're going to play it. And if not, then I guess tell me that. I don't know. That's all I've got for this one. Until next time.